We are learning new details about a story that sent a shockwave through Washington. The covert plan carried out by the U.S. last month to move President Donald Trump on a catering truck to a secret plane to fly him out of Turkey amid threats from Iran. In his first comments to reporters about the ruse, Trump did not push back on the idea that it took place. Instead, he said he was simply listening to what Secret Service and the U.S. military told him to do.
They wanted me to go on a different flight, a different plane, equal safety, but they wanted me to do it, so I do it. I do what they say.
The plane that I flew on was at greater risk, and I think it was at greater risk because that would be the plane I think that they would be more likely to go for.
It comes as we are learning that two top cabinet secretaries were among those who remained on what we now know was a decoy Air Force One. That includes Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. And a source told CNN that it was a specific shoulder-fire missile threat that emerged on the last day of the NATO summit in Turkey to spark all of this. Meanwhile, on the war more broadly, we are seeing signs of expansion. Yemen has accused the Iranian-backed Houthis of carrying out a deadly attack in the Red Sea. The State Department is asking U.S. embassies in the Middle East to come up with plans to continue operating with a small number of staff. That's according to sources, though plans have not been finalized. And it comes as an advisor to the commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has said a strategy for Iran could be to prolong the war until Trump leaves office. At the White House, I'm Maddie Gannon.
A flurry of wildfires burning out west, putting tens of thousands at risk. The largest blaze is currently in Utah. The Widemouth 2 fire has burned more than 120,000 acres. It's only about a quarter contained, but firefighters say they are making progress. And it's far from the only fire the state is dealing with. Further north, the Rocky Canyon fire is forcing residents to flee their homes.
It's obviously gotten worse, so at this point, really no knowing when we'll be coming back.
The size of the area that's on fire is so vast, it's beginning to strain state resources.
There's a lot of aviation on them, there's a lot of personnel on them, and that costs a lot of money.
In Washington state, a trio of fires burning near Spokane are smaller in size, but have been more destructive. This neighborhood essentially a complete loss, every lot reduced to ashes.
I still have a knot in my stomach. It doesn't feel real. I'm still in shock.
And across the border in Canada, more than 20,000 people are under evacuation orders in British Columbia. Those who fled their homes on short notice, grabbing whatever they could, unsure if they'd see it again.
I took a picture of my kids' families, took a picture of my husband and I thought if I didn't have walls to go home to, at least I have memories to put up on my new one, you know?
Canada is getting some reinforcements. About 100 firefighters arrived Tuesday from Mexico to help push back the flames. In Los Angeles, Max Gordon, Fox News.
You probably drive by at least one every day.
I think it's an invasion of my privacy.
These flock cameras snap and store photos of your license plate. They scan your car's color, make, and model whenever you pass by. Police say they've helped solve serious crimes, and for almost 2 years, New Bedford police have shared data with more than 100 other law enforcement agencies. At least until now.
What do you think that New Bedford, at least for now, is turning them off?
I think that's a great idea.
In New Bedford, it's lights out for the city's 20 flock cameras, while police review how they're being used and develop new flock policies.
I think they should keep them.
I think we got by fine without them for long enough. I don't really see the need for them.
The decision to go dark comes as police confirm an officer is on leave after a technology audit helped spark an internal investigation. The New Bedford Light reports patrol officer Emily Pacheco is accused of using flock technology to track and follow her ex-girlfriend. Court documents obtained by the Light reveal she was deemed a threat to her ex and forced to turn in any guns.
Nobody should be doing that, and I don't care if you're an officer of the law or not. Privacy is privacy is privacy, period, full stop.
Flock founder Garrett Langley says the system has safeguards designed to curb misuse.
It's a disappointing story when I see it, but I also go, look, this is working. This is showing that if you use a tool like Flock or other tools, you should be held accountable, regardless of whether you have a badge or you don't.
The New Bedford City Council also plans to take a closer look at the technology and the city's Flock contract.
What do you hope comes of this review process?
More oversight and more review as to what took place to even enter into this. We've always known that there were cameras, but just not to the extent of what flock cameras do.
What led to this?
In my 20-plus years, one of the hardest things I've ever seen.
The town of Winfield reeling after police say a man shoots and kills his family and then himself.
I just woke up to like a flood of cop cars, K-9 units.
This is the house where the man barricaded himself in his home. Megan Higgins lives in the neighborhood.
It's so sad. Like my heart goes out to everybody who's involved, really. I don't know the person, but however, I do walk my dog every single day, so I see that person outside every single day.
Megan says the saddest part are the man's children who he killed.
They were little.
At approximately 8:50 a.m., our officers received a 911 call from a male individual who stated that he had killed his entire family and he was getting ready to kill himself.
That's the Winfield Police Department, who say they tried to reason with the man for 2 hours before entering the home and learning he had committed suicide. The KBI was brought in as well to investigate.
Yes, we're still working through motive, but it was a single family in there.
While the community tries to heal, Megan says she just doesn't understand why someone would do this.
How do you get to that point, to want to hurt how do you kill your own family? How do you do that?
We're in the thick of summer, and it's no secret it's hot. Some climate experts have already said things could get hotter with that El Nino strengthening in the Pacific. And now, weather experts are saying it's getting hotter more often.
A extreme heat event that would have previously occurred once every 50 years would now be likely to occur 8 times within that same period.
And as the globe heats up, researchers are looking at efforts towards preparation and whether cities are even ready for extreme heat. Experts are saying now it doesn't appear that way, and there's room to improve.
Our sort of proactive regulations and management of heat hazards is underdeveloped.
Associate Professor Sarah Miro has been researching heat resilience at the University of Colorado Boulder. She breaks her studies down into 3 categories of strategies: heat mitigation, heat management, and heat governance.
Heat mitigation strategies are things that you do to actually try and cool your community. Heat management strategies are things that we do to actually protect people from the heat that we are not able to mitigate. Heat governance strategies are about building new institutions that can better coordinate heat resilience efforts.
Miro says communities need to be thinking about strategies that work best for them in reducing any heat-related risks they may be facing. For example, a city may consider appointing a chief heat officer, which she says many cities around the world have already done. I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Consumer inflation cooled slightly in July, meeting expectations. The 12-month headline inflation rate eased to 3.4% last month, down from 3.5% in June. Month to month, prices rose just 0.1%. Wednesday's report could help ease concerns about further Fed rate hikes. Bank of America is pledging $250 billion for U.S. infrastructure projects. The company says it plans to deploy the money by July of next year, helping boost investment in AI data centers, energy and critical minerals, while also creating tens of thousands of jobs. Anthropic's Claude models will soon have an invisible AI watermark for all texts and files it creates. While the watermark will be invisible to the human eye, it will be detectable to other machines. The worldwide policy is in compliance with the European Union's new transparency regulations. Companies including Google, Meta, and OpenAI have also pledged to comply. And the snack that smiles back is going gluten-free this November. For the first time ever, Goldfish will have gluten-free cheese crackers. In an Instagram post, the brand wrote the move was, quote, inspired by fans like Brooklyn, who says her celiac disease prevents her from having her favorite snack. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Annual inflation slowed in July to 3.4%, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics Wednesday. And easing gas prices between June and July accounted for much of the overall cooldown. But overall prices are still on the rise, and the latest jobs report showed wage gains aren't keeping up.
Inflation is it's a lagging indicator from a consumer sentiment point of view, right? I mean, we talk about numbers, we're banding about all these statistics, but at the end of the day, it's how you feel.
With back to school season revving up for households, the July inflation data shows a number of lunchbox staples more expensive than last year. Bread prices up 3.7%, lunch meats up 0.8%, peanut butter up 1.8% annually, fresh fruits and vegetables up 5.5%, and juices and other non-alcoholic beverages up 2.9% from July of last year. Registered dietitian Brenda Davey, a professor in the Virginia Tech Department of Human Nutrition, Foods, and Exercise, says shoppers should scout sales and note which produce items are in season and plentiful.
Looking for those types of items seasonally can help with budgeting. There's also a lot of discount racks available in grocery stores, and I shop those regularly.
A recent survey from Deloitte also found some caregivers turning to AI for lunchbox ideas, including healthier choices and ingredients. In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.
You want them to eat well-balanced meals, but sometimes...
Yeah, half sandwich. Oh.
That's easier said than done.
The one thing to avoid is what your child won't like and won't eat.
Catherine Sherry with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says if your child wants to try school lunches, to go over the menu and pick the days that will appease their palate. She says schools have to follow rules and regulations regarding what's served.
There is going to be a fruit, a vegetable, a protein, and a carb on that plate. So it really is a balanced meal.
But picky eaters may want to pack their lunch, and Sherry says providing them with a healthy meal they'll actually eat doesn't have to be hard. She says to involve them.
Take the kids to the grocery store or ask them what type of fruit or vegetable do you want in your lunch this week.
Making it fun can also help. Try ham and cheese roll-ups with hummus, whole wheat pita, celery, and a banana, or deconstructed tacos, ground beef, guacamole, whole wheat tortilla, lettuce and tomato, and watermelon, or meat dippers, cubed chicken with their favorite dip, trail mix, carrots, pineapple. You could also try homemade Lunchables, sliced turkey and cheese, alongside nut or seed butter, crackers, green beans, and some apple slices. Make it all healthier than store-bought brands. And Sherry says students should wash lunch down with water to avoid a sugar high or crash.
That is going to be the best option to get them through the day, to keep their brains working, to not give them headaches.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
As this summer brings about scorching temperatures across the globe, medical experts are all singing the same tune, telling people to push the water to stay hydrated. But besides heat-related illnesses, there's another potential risk that may be surprising.
Drinking a lot of water when it's hot is an excellent idea, but there are some concerns with the use of reusable water bottles nowadays.
Brian Hammer is an associate professor at the School of Biological Sciences at Georgia Tech. He says reusable water bottles can become breeding grounds for potentially dangerous microbes to grow.
And those microbes include bacteria like staph and strep.
And as students return to school, Hammer is also warning against sharing water bottles. He says a person's own bacteria may be fine for them, but if shared with a friend, they can be dangerous. But there are a few best practices everyone can do to stay healthy as they hydrate. First, wash bottles every day.
Washing the inside and the outside and all the little spots where microbes can live, like the straw and the mouthpiece and inside the cap.
And sterilize or disinfect water bottles about once a week.
Teaspoon of bleach per quart of water. Mix that up, place that in your water bottle and let it sit for 5 minutes or so. Dump it out, rinse, 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 dry.
Hammer also advises against putting sugary liquids in water bottles because sugar can help microbes grow. I'm Anita Vogel, Fox News.
You must have questions.
Why can't your wife finish her book series?
You really want to know? This is Verity. Doctors don't think she'll ever walk or talk again.
Or will she? Here's your first look at Verity, based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. Anne Hathaway, Dakota Johnson, and Josh Hartnett star in the psychological thriller. Verity, which was originally due out in May, opens in theaters October 2nd. Bette Midler is this year's recipient of the Woody Guthrie Prize, which honors artists who exemplify Guthrie's legacy of speaking out through art and working for social change. Midler, the award-winning entertainer and longtime activist, is set to be honored October 16th at an event in Tulsa, Oklahoma, near where Guthrie was born. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams.
The voice of Sir Patrick Stewart heralds the introduction to The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered for Nintendo Switch 2.
This is the 27th of Last Seed, the year of Akatosh 433.
The 2006 Game of the Year was previously upgraded for other platforms, with this edition being optimized for Nintendo's portable console.
This is the Oblivion Remastered title that we released in 2025. Fully realized and available on the Switch 2. It's the complete game. All the DLC is embedded in the same product. It's a physical release, so you get an actual cart with everything on it, so you can play from day one.
Didn't you hear the explosion? Some damn drunk of a wizard started hurling fireballs at passers-by.
Dan Lee got to revisit the game he worked on 2 decades earlier.
I joined Bethesda Game Studios in 2005 while they were working on Oblivion. My first interactions with the company was working on the original version of this game. So coming across to the remaster as well has been pretty interesting, to say the least.
I'm going to follow you and watch you and worship the ground you walk on.
The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is out now for Nintendo Switch 2 and still features the voice performances of Sean Bean, Linda Carter, and Sir Patrick Stewart.
I am your emperor, Uriel Septim. By the grace of the gods, I serve Tamriel as her ruler.
Leveling Up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Watch police officers rush to save the life of a child choking on the side of the road.
Please hurry, my baby.
After a frantic call came into the Rialto Police Department from a mother who realized her son wasn't breathing, Officer Josh Colorado responded and found the child on the sidewalk unresponsive.
I saw his hands dangling. My heart dropped.
Colorado and another officer sprang into action, administering aid to the choking child as the panicked mother watched. They were able to successfully clear the boy's airway just as paramedics arrived.
Fire's here. We're okay.
You're okay. KCAL reports the child was transferred for treatment and has since made a full recovery. The mother was able to meet the life-saving heroes later on and personally express her gratitude.
This moment to, chat with them, face to face and really, give them a hug and thank them for what they did for my son that day.
Another close call, this one at an Arkansas high school football practice, which came to a halt when a venomous snake was discovered inside a player's helmet. KATV reports the snake, a cottonmouth, was tucked behind the pads of the helmet and amazingly did not injure the player, despite him reportedly wearing the snake-filled helmet for more than an hour. Animal Services officials were able to use water to flood the snake free and safely relocate it. Finally, on to less squeamish school news. When a Colorado 5th grader refused his mom's first day back-to-school photo request, she didn't get mad, she got the cops involved. Amanda Stoltz recruited a passing Keensburg police officer to help school her stubborn youngster, playfully slapping some cuffs on him and posing him in the back of his patrol unit. It seems no actual charges were levied for the first day malfeasance, but little man certainly learned a very important life lesson. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
You've seen a variety of different food vending machines popping up, but have you ever seen a lei vending machine before? The Orchid Lei Company has brought these machines to 3 hotels in Waikiki and 1 in Ko'olina for a different type of vending machine experience. The Orchid Lei Company has been around for more than 2 decades, but the lei machines are a recent development over the last 2 years as a way to expand the options for where and how to get lei.
With the vending machines in the hotels, what it does is they have a lot of banquets, and our local community, I forgot a lei, or they're coming to dinner and pick up a lei. We have varieties of different leis for them to select from. So yeah, sharing the aloha, sharing the love.
The lei machines are a novelty for visitors and hotel guests too.
Since we've been in Hawaii, I haven't seen anything like this.
My initial reaction is like, this is something like from a movie. It's super cool, really exciting. I love that you can look at everything and you can pick, like no pressure. You can take your time and choose exactly what you like, and there's pictures.
The lei machines are open 24/7, and in the temperature-controlled environment, the fresh flower lei can last up to 6 days, with a team regularly monitoring the quality and checking the machines every other day. Keepsakes and Soak Forever lei can also be found next to the traditional lei.
At the front desk, we always get asked, where do we get leis? People want to welcome their friends and families with leis. And it's just, we always say Chinatown or by the airport, and now we have this amazing vending machine.
Iraha says the idea is simple.
To enjoy and share the true meaning of what a lei is all about. And we call it the leis of love.
Visit KHON2.com for a list of lei machine locations. Jocelyn Rose, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
Your wife is in a bar. You said she's under Sanjay.
This is what he's going to tell you.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir. The only thing they could do was kill him.
The jury and to find the defendant